You know what time it is? It is time to talk playoffs right here on the Sports Talk Nation. Now, I'm going to give you the graphics, so stand back, relax. The graphic is going to come up here, so I'm going to actually shrink my screen right now, and you're going to see the full bracket right now. So, yes, we now have that extra wild card team, the 7th seed. The 7th seed being the Bears in the NFC. That's a joke in and of itself. And then the 7th seed in the AFC being the Colts. Colts-Bills is going to be very interesting, folks. That's the first playoff game. Now, the Bills have had a tremendous season, 13-3. They are one of the hot teams in the NFL right now. Bills right now are second in the league in total offense, right behind Kansas City. Second in the league in passing offense, right behind Kansas City. They are on fire. Josh Allen has been on fire. Of course, with the Bills putting up 56 points last week in a game that they really didn't need to have, but they got it anyway. Allen, 4,544 yards this year, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. He's been incredible. Even though their ground game, which used to be strong a year ago, has been more about the passing game. And even, let's be honest, the addition of Stephon Diggs has been great for them, and their offense looks more like the Colts when they have Peyton Manning, a team that's just going to throw the football all over the place, for that matter. And speaking of the Colts, they now come into Buffalo for this game. It'll be the first playoff game in Buffalo since, 1995. Been a long time. Long time since the Bills hosted a playoff game. This game scares me if you're a Bills fan because the Colts are a dangerous football team this year. I mean, yes, I know the Philip Rivers is getting up there in age. But you know what? Frank Reich he's found ways to win with this team. And he found ways to get this team in position to be into the playoffs. They could have easily won the division this year. This is a tough football team. They played tough on the road. They took Pittsburgh to the brink a couple weeks ago, and they even beat the Titans on the road earlier this year. It's a good football team. They can run the football with Jonathan Taylor, as we all know. This game, if you're the Bills, if I'm the Bills, would scare me a little bit, man. It really would. So I would be nervous about this game. I will still pick the Bills to win it, but that's a game that will scare me going forward here in the wild card game. The other wild card games, the AFC, Pittsburgh and Cleveland meeting for the second straight week. I just haven't liked Pittsburgh at all season. I don't think anybody has, for that matter. But it is a second consecutive game against the Browns. I will take the Steelers to find a way to beat the Browns in the playoffs. Browns, their first trip to the playoffs in 18 years. When they were in the playoffs 18 years ago, they played the Steelers in the wild card round, lost. That will happen again this week as well. They're going to lose to the Steelers. And the game, maybe the game of the week, Baltimore at Tennessee. Baltimore going into a revenge game. They lost their last two games to the Titans, of course, the playoffs last year, and the game earlier this year, both in Baltimore. And we all know about the Titans standing on the Ravens logo at midfield. That started up a whole brouhaha over there with the Ravens and the Titans. So I don't know. I got a feeling that the Ravens could be in. I really do. They're starting to play better football. They have won 5 in a row. Lamar Jackson's playing good football right now at this point of the year, in the most crucial point of the year. I just got a feeling the Ravens could make some noise in this postseason. I really do. And I think they'll find a way to beat the Titans and move on to the wild card and the division rounds. That means you'll have Chiefs, Ravens, and Steelers, Bills going forward into the divisional round. Taking a look at the NFC, Saints, Bears, it's not even worth a conversation. I'll take the Saints to smack around the Bears. Washington football team, Washington whatevers, Washington Swampmen, Washington Werewolves, whatever you want to call them. Taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bucs should win this game. They will move on. And then the Seahawks, I think, will take care of the battered Rams. They will move on as well. So you'll have Seahawks, Saints, Bucs, and Packers. And think about that. You have, in the NFC, you'll have 4 quarterbacks, all who have won a Super Bowl, or Super Bowls, in going into the division round. Brady against Rodgers, Russell Wilson against Drew Brees. That's going to be a lot of fun in the divisional round of the playoffs out of the NFC. They always say the division round is the best round, and it will be this year for sure. Let's play this forward a little bit, and this is just a bit of predicting here on my part. Between the Packers and the Bucs, I'll say the Packers move on. There's something about the Packers this year. Everyone's talking about what the Bills have done, what the Chiefs have done this year. No one's really talked too much about the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers had a very quiet MVP type of year, 43 touchdowns. And this team has been red hot. They score 30 or 40 points seemingly every single week. They've been blowing people out almost every single week. Packers are going to take care of the Bucs. I have further thoughts about that even more. They're going to go to the NFC Championship game. And the Saints-Seahawks, also known as the game where you really can't... Do I really want to trust the Saints in another playoff game? In a big playoff game? I've gotten burned by them in the last couple of years. We all have. And I think that I'll take the Seahawks, even though their defense has issues this year, I'll take the Seahawks to upset them in the division rounds. Seahawks, Packers in the championship game. And then the AFC, I'll say the Chiefs outlast the Ravens. Mahomes outlasts Lamar Jackson in what will be a very tough game. The Chiefs last year, remember, were playing playoff games where they were falling behind huge deficits. Huge deficits to Houston. They came back and won. Huge deficit to Tennessee, came back and won. And San Francisco came back and won. So can they do that again? Not advisable. And I'm not too crazy about the way the Chiefs were looking down the stretch of this year. I still think they're the most talented team in the NFL right now, and certainly the best team in the NFL right now. But this will be a tough game for them. I think they'll win it. They'll move on to the championship game, but it will not be easy against Baltimore. And then Pittsburgh, Buffalo rematch from a game from a few weeks ago. I again don't like the Steelers at all. I'll take the Bills to walk past the Steelers. And you'll have Bills back in the AFC. What is this, 1993? Bills in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. So Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Seahawks. Your Super Bowl will be a rematch of the first ever Super Bowl, which was what, 1966, 67, something like that, 66, 67. It was the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes on one side, Aaron Rodgers on the other side. And that will be the Super Bowl. I will not make a pick. You know what? Should I make a pick? Should I do that? I'll do it. The Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. Packers over the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. Should be a good one. We'll talk to you next time, folks. Remember to follow us here on the Sports Talk Nation here on YouTube. Like and subscribe below. Also, follow us on the social media at OpenMikeNJ on Twitter and Facebook.com/OpenMikeProgram. Take care. Talk to you next time.